We are live, and we're talking about Jon Benet Ramsey. Now, um, this is kind of like an unsolved case where um, nobody really knows like who did it. Some say the mom, some say the dad, some say the brother. Now, the brother knows who did it.
Yeah, that's how what I gathered from it.
The brother knows who did it.
But he might be in fear that someone's gonna do something to him.
Oh, absolutely. She was born August 6, 1990 in Atlanta, Georgia. Uh, she died December 26, 1996 in Boulder, Colorado.
6 years old.
Yeah. Her and her mom, they were both like in what do you call it?
Beauty pageants.
Yeah, yeah. So, but on the night of December 25th, 1996, Jon Benet, her middle name was Patricia too, like same name as her mom's, but she was killed in her family's home at 755 15th Street, Boulder, Colorado. Do you know they changed the address to that so that people would like not come around
Not drive by and stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
She was reported missing early on December 26th, and her body was found about 7 hours later in the basement of the house. Her skull had been fractured, and a garrote was tied around her neck. One of those things that just go around her neck like this. The autopsy determined that the cause of death was asphyxia by strangulation, and craniocerebral trauma.
Which means they bashed her skull in.
Yeah, that was real homicide. So,
who could be that angry at a 6-year-old to do that?
Now, the police came and everything, and they had a lot of people in the house, like friends and family and stuff. So honestly, they couldn't really do a good like fingerprints or anything like that because there was so many people in that house. So I think that kind of botched it a little bit. And some people say that that was like their plan or something, was have friends and family or people. There's so many fingerprints that it kind of would throw the investigation off. They focused on the Ramsey family, particularly a handwritten ransom note found in the house. They believe the note was written by Jon Benet's mother, Patsy. Police theorized that the note and the condition of Jon Benet's body had been staged by Patsy and her husband. Jon Benet's attorney stated that Jon Benet's 9-year-old brother, Burke, was not a suspect. That same year, a grand jury voted to indict the Ramseys for child abuse resulting in death and accessory to a crime. Then the district attorney declined to sign an indictment, saying there was insufficient evidence to prove the charges at trial, which it was, because they really didn't have proof to, there's no proof of that at all. Now, in 2002, a new district attorney assumed the control of the case, and a theory that an intruder entered the home and committed the killing in 2003. In 2003, trace DNA recovered from Jon Benet's clothing was found to belong to an unidentified male, and the Ramseys were excluded as contributors. In 2008, though, Mary Lacey, which was a district attorney in 2002, sent the family a letter stating they were cleared by DNA results, and another state district attorney would say in 2016 that Lacey's decision was not legally binding and that Lacey should not have never written the letter. But in 2009, the Boulder Police Department resumed control of the investigation and continues to treat the case as an open homicide. So, I don't know. I mean,
so are they trying to say the family member wrote the ransom note?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe trying to skim off the top?
Now, they're also saying, too, that the amount of the ransom was the same amount that he got as a bonus. Mr. Ramsey.
So it's someone that knows him,
I don't.
knows his business.
Yeah. Now, on December 26th, 1996, her body was discovered in a basement. She was buried on December 31st, where she was St. James Episcopal Cemetery in Marietta, Georgia, where she was interred beside her half-sister Elizabeth Pash Ramsey, who had died in a car accident nearly 5 years ago at the age of 22.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So they had an older sister, too. Like a half-sister. That's crazy. Jon Ramsey is a businessman. He is president of Access Graphics, a computer company that later became a subsidiary of Lockheed Martin. His first marriage ended in divorce in 1978. In 1991, Jon had moved that later became a subsidiary of he moved with Patsy, his second wife, and family moved to Boulder, where Access Graphics headquarters was located. Patsy entered Jon Benet in various beauty pageants where she had won titles of America's Royal Miss, Little Miss Charles Vox, and Little Miss Colorado, all kinds of stuff like that. Cover Girl, all kid star Cover Girl. Jon Benet's active role in child beauty pageants and Patsy pageant mother behavior were reported by media after the murder.
Now I remember when this was all over the news and everybody was talking about it, and they were more upset about putting a 6-year-old through the makeup and the wardrobes and stuff.
6 months after Jon Benet's death, the Ramseys moved to a new home in Atlanta after a summer at their vacation retreat in Michigan. Patsy died of ovarian cancer at age 49 in 2006. She is interred next to her daughter. That's crazy. Well, guess not, because her daughter, but the only people to be known in the house the night of Jon Benet's death were her immediate family, Patsy and Jon Ramsey, and their son Burke. The ransom note contains specific instructions against contacting the police and friends. Take this off here. Okay. But Patsy telephoned the police at 5:52 a.m. She also called friends and family. The 2 police officers that responded to 911 arrived within 3 minutes. They conducted a search of the house and did not find any sign of forced entry. One of the officers went to the basement and came to the door that was secured by an additional wood latch at the top of the door frame. He paused for a moment at the door, but then walked away without opening it. Friends later explained that he was looking for an exit route used by the kidnapper. Since the wooden latch was holding the door closed from inside the house, the kidnapper could not have used that door and then closed the latch from the inside. Ruling this as a possible exit, Jon Benet's body was later found behind the door. So if he would have just opened it up, he would have found her.
Yeah.
But like he said, he was looking for an exit. And, with her body still missing, with Jon Benet still missing, Jon made arrangements to pay the ransom. A forensics team was dispatched to the house. The team initially believed that the child had been kidnapped because they thought they searched the house. And Jon Benet's bedroom was the only room in the house that was cornered off to prevent contamination of evidence. No precautions were taken to prevent contamination of evidence in the rest of the house. Meanwhile, friends, victim advocates, and Ramsey's family minister arrived at the home to show support. Visitors picked up and cleaned surfaces in the kitchen, possibly destroying evidence. Boulder detectives arrived at the house at 8 a.m. in anticipation of receiving further instructions by the kidnapper, but there was never an attempt to claim the money. That's crazy. Now, the discovery of the body at 1 p.m., the detective asked Jon Ramsey and Fleet White, a family friend, to search the house to see if anything seems amiss. And they started their search in the basement, of course. John opened the latch door, which the officer had overlooked. His daughter's body lay in the room. Jon Benet's mouth was covered with duct tape and a nylon cord found around her wrist and neck, and her torso was covered with a white blanket. John picked her up and rushed her upstairs. When Jon Benet was moved, the crime scene was further contaminated. Critical forensic evidence was disturbed for returning forensics team. Each of the Ramseys provided a handwriting, blood, and hair samples to the police. And John and Patsy participated in a preliminary interview for more than 2 hours, and Burke was also interviewed for the first couple weeks of the following of her death. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Each of the Ramseys, okay. Yeah, so they all provided, like, DNA and stuff like that. Scott Gibbons, a neighbor, claimed around midnight while looking from his kitchen window, he saw the upper kitchen of the Ramsey residence lit up with dim lights. Neighbor Melody Stanton reported that she awoke shortly after midnight to the sound of a child screaming coming from the Ramsey residence. Now, the ransom note, Patsy reported that she found a 2.5-page handwritten ransom note on their kitchen staircase. Now, they have a spiral staircase. Their house is big. You ever see what it looks like on the inside?
I've seen the outside.
Well, they totally remodeled the inside. You'd have to look it up. You could see the inside of the house. They remodeled that whole inside, redid the whole basement. It looks badass. Like, I would totally buy that house. Like I said, though, the boiler room where she was found, they sealed that off, like you can't even tell it was even there. I guess you did get a map of the house, like a blueprint, to see where it was at. The note demanded $118,000 for Jon Benet's return. John pointed out to the first police on the scene.
An odd number.
I was nearly identical to the Christmas bonus the prior year, which was suggested by someone who had access to that information would be involved into the crime. Investigators looked into several theories behind the dollar amount demanded, considering employees at Access Graphics and might know about John's prior bonus. They considered possibility that ransom demand was referred and spoke to religious sources to determine possible relevance. The ransom note was unusually long, so of course the FBI told the police that was very unusual for such a note to be written at a crime scene. So that was probably had to be written before they got there, because who's going to take the time to write it and then lay it out the way they did?
Right.
You know, they say the note was probably staged. It didn't have any fingerprints except for Patsy's and authorities who had handled it. And because it included unusual use of exclamation marks and initialisms, the note and a practice draft were written with pen and notepad from the Ramsey home. But still, that's like circumstantial, I'm assuming. Now, according to the Colorado investigation report, their indication that author of the ransom note is Patricia Ramsey. However, evidence fell short of a definitive, conclusive that a board-certified forensic pathologist who consulted with both sides of the case said he had never seen a note like this in his 60-year experience. Isn't that crazy?
Well, who takes the time out to write that big of a ransom note? It's plain and simple. Give me or else.
And he did not think it was written by an outside stranger, which I believe was written by somebody in the house.
It had to have been, especially if you knew exactly how much his bonus was.
Like we said, we don't judge. We're just going by what we're reading here. And they're even thinking, you know, that somebody had to have been pre-wrote, is what we're saying. That had to have been pre-wrote.
Oh, they have the ransom note. Didn't know that.
The ransom, though, goes as
Listen
follows.
carefully.
Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. We do respect your business, but not the country that it serves. At this time, we have your daughter in our possession. She is safe and unharmed. If you want her to see 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter. You will draw $118,000 from your account. $100,000 will be put in $100 bills, and remaining $18,000 in $20 bills. Wow.
Okay.
Make sure you bring an adequate size attached to the bank. When you get home, you will put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call you between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you to be rested. If we monitor you getting the money early, we might call you early to arrange an earlier delivery of the money and hence earlier pickup of your daughter. Any deviation of my instructions will result in immediate execution of your daughter. You will be denied her remains for proper burial. The two gentlemen watching over your daughter do not particularly like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, will result in your daughter being beheaded. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. That's what it says. If you alert a bank authority, she dies. If the money in any way is marked tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices. If there are any found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned that we are familiar with law enforcement countermeasures and tactics. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. Follow our instructions and you stand 100% of getting her back. You and your family are under constant scrutiny as well as authorities. Do not try to grow a brain, John. You're not the only fat cat around, so don't think you can think that killing will be difficult. Don't underestimate us, John. Use that good southern common sense of yours. It is up to you now, John. Victory. SBTC. We don't know what that means. I don't know if they ever found out what that meant.
I don't know, but it sounds like it's someone that knows him.
Oh, yeah. Now, the autopsy revealed that Jon Benet was killed by strangulation, and all that stuff. Like we said before, no semen was found. There was no evidence of rape, although sexual assault could not be ruled out. There's no evidence that there had been a vaginal injury. Evidence suggests that the paintbrush used as a garrote was used for sexual assault at the time of the autopsy. Pathologists recorded that it appeared her vaginal area had been wiped with a cloth. Her death was ruled a homicide. A garrote was made from the length of a nylon cord, and a broken handle of a paintbrush was tied around Jon Benet's neck and had apparently been used to strangle her. Part of the bristle of the brush was found in the tub containing Patsy's art supplies. The bottom third of it was never found, despite extensive search of the house by the police in subsequent days. But she probably already had that thing like broken and tossed at one point, the piece to it a long time ago. Because it was probably an older brush. The autopsy revealed a vegetable or fruit material which may have been represented as pineapple, which Jon Benet had eaten a few hours before her death. Photographs of the home taken on the day of her body was found show a bowl of pineapple on the kitchen table with a spoon in it. However, neither John or Patsy remember putting the bowl on the table or feeding pineapple to Jon Benet. So they report they found Patsy Ramsey's fingerprints on the bowl. I don't really think she could have been sitting on the counter moving the bowl around, trying to move stuff around. just like with the paintbrush. I mean, their basement was used for all kinds of different things, whatever. That paintbrush could have just been down there or whatever. Uh, Blood samples, they extracted enough materials, mixed blood samples from Jon Benet's underwear to establish a DNA to an unknown male person. Um, they said in 2016 that new forensic analysts with more sensitive techniques could reveal the original DNA contained genetic markers from two individuals from the other than Jon Benet.
Wow.
Oh yeah. A lead investigator from the DA's office said there was additional traces of male DNA found on the cord and paintbrush that Boulder District Attorney Mary Lacey did not mention. There were 6 separate DNA samples belonging to unknown individuals that were found by the test. A former FBI profiler believes that the DNA had shown up identically in several different places and multiple services belongs to the killer. They never did find the killer though. Let's see. District Attorney Bob Grant, who assisted the Boulder's DA's office case for many years, believes that the DNA evidence is significant, saying resolution case would have to explain the DNA shown up on several pieces of her clothing, but the DNA can get on places in clothing and all different non-suspicious means. There's no forensic evidence that can show like that is a stranger murder. I mean, it's hard to tell. So they're still working on this case.
Yeah.
Lewis Smith was a detective who came out of retirement in 1997 to assist him with this case in 1998, and his findings, police and other staff members of the DA's office concluded that evidence pointing away from the Ramseys. So I guess some say it's them, some say it's not. Two of the lead investigators in his case had opposing views. Both Lewis Smith and Steve Thomas ultimately resigned. Smith said he believed that investigation has incompletely overlooked the intruder hypothesis, and Thomas because he believed the DA's office had interfered and failed to support his hypothesis of the case. Now, the grand jury in 1998 to consider indicting the Ramseys for charges relating to the case. In 1999, the jury returned to a true bill charge the Ramseys with placing a child at risk in the way that led to her death, based on the probable cause standard, such as grand jury proceedings, but they did not prosecute them because they did not believe that they could meet the higher standard of proving guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Because once you find them not guilty or whatever, you can't
Go back.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they don't want to do anything because they don't want to mess it up. Because murder has no statute of limitation. So, the next Boulder County District Attorney took over the investigation, which was Mary Lacey. 2002, and in 2003 she agreed with the federal judge who sat on 2002 case that the evidence in the suit were consistent with the theory that intruder murdered Jon Benet than it did with the theory that Mrs. Ramsey did it. February 2009, Boulder Police Chief Mark announced that Stan Garrett, the new district attorney, turning the case over to his agency, that his team would resume investigating it, but they found the statute of limitations for the crime identifies in 1999, and jury true bill has expired. So they did not pursue to review the case against the Ramseys. Wow. Taking them so long. In 2010, they reopened the cold case and new interviews were conducted, but there was no new information from those interviews. So they're really not getting anything.
Well, no, I am sure their stories aren't changing any.
I wonder if she actually liked doing that stuff. Like, did the girl actually really like it, or is this something she just had to do because the mother did it? What do you think?
I don't know. All the pictures that they showed online and everything, she's always smiling. I mean, there's rare pictures that she's not. I mean, she's getting her parents' attention. She's getting all the attention of people. You never know.
I don't know.
But it said in the ransom note, they're a group you don't want to mess with. Well, how come they didn't kidnap anyone else's kids that are doing this? Doesn't make sense.
Some people have money. No, they do.
And that's a weird way to collect your money. You tell them precisely how to break the bills down.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah. They do interviews with Burke. I think the dad's still alive, or did he die?
I'm not sure.
I know the mom's gone. He's still alive. He's 82.
Huh.
He resides in Michigan and continues to advocate for Boulder Police Department to utilize advanced DNA testing an independent firm to solve his daughter's 1996 murder.
Now, with all the new testing and stuff they have, why haven't they tried any of the new stuff? I mean, everything's still in evidence boxes. Or is it a dead case and no one cares anymore?
That might be because he's like 82.
Yeah, but you'd still think you'd want to
know.
Let people know so this kid could rest. I mean,
but I'm saying in general, though, the guy's 82 years old. They're going to think, okay, even if he did do it, what are they going to do to him? He's 82. I don't know what kind of a shape he's in. You know, he could be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, true.
And some say...
But they blew this up so much that I really thought this was not going to be a case that was forgotten. I really thought they were going to keep going.
Well, Burke...
I mean, look how bad they went after OJ. You think that this was around the same era? I don't understand. It's a child. You think they'd want to know who did it?
Burke, they've done lots of interviews with him. And now, a lot of people think Burke did it. They thought maybe he accidentally hit her in the head or something, and they made it look like it was, you know, or maybe he got mad and choked her or something. I don't know. That's what some people were thinking. I couldn't tell you. I mean,
yeah, but she was sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Right there, you think they'd be able to. I mean, come on, it's what, 30 years?
When Burke was asked about the pineapple, when they showed the bowl of pineapple, he initially struggled to identify, hesitating, laughing, nervously, and guessing, and it might be fruit. He indicated it was possible he and Jon Benet had been eating pineapple that day, answering he very well could have, because his fingerprints were found on the bowl. Partially digested pineapple was found in Jon Benet's
Maybe that's
stomach.
what she was lured downstairs with.
Yeah.
so many ways you could look at this.
Yeah, because it says her brother Patsy Ramsey and her older brother Burke Ramsey those were the prints that were found on the pineapple. But like Burke could have picked it up and moved it out of the way. She could have moved it out of the way when she was sitting at the counter. I mean, it's
I mean, they really blew this up when it happened.
They said the partially digested pineapple found in Jon Benet's small intestine became most crucial and heavily debated piece of evidence in the case. It contradicted the family's alibi and placed people in the home awake late at night. Because their alibi was Jon Benet's parents claimed that she and her brother, Burke, went straight to bed after returning from a Christmas party on the night of December 25th, 1996. However, forensic analysis confirmed that the fruit in her stomach was fresh pineapple, which was consumed approximately 1.5 to 2 hours before her death, meaning she was awake and eating after returning home. They found the bowl of pineapple on the dining room table with a spoon in it, which matched the remains found in her digestive tract. Nothing even contained rind. It even contained rind. So the sibling altercation theory, the fruit matched the snack in the bowl. This evidence is found in a theory suggests Burke accidentally killed Jon Benet during a late night argument over the snack, which the parents attempted to cover up.
Wow.
I mean, you never know.
But were they covering up because they thought the son did it? Somebody's got to know something. That's a long time not to have talked about it or to slip up
I
saying
would
you
want to
did
know
something.
if it was me. I'd want to know.
What about other family members that's still around? You think they would have been still wanting to know what happened to their grandkid, their niece, whatever it be?
Well, they also think that Burke hit his sister in the head with a heavy object like a flashlight after she stole a piece of pineapple from his bowl. Perhaps not intending to kill her, they suggest that the ransom letter was an attempt to cover up the circumstances of her death.
Huh.
Alright, where's this flashlight at?
Really? Probably still in the boiler room that's boarded up. Yeah.
There is a movie out. It's a 3-hour movie with her, about her. And it shows, them out for the night, having a party and stuff at friends or whatever. And they came home and, when the kids went to bed, they went to the neighbor's house next door and got some of their Christmas gifts, like their bikes and whatever else they got. It's a really good movie. It's 3 hours long. But I watched it. I watched a lot of the documentaries too.
I just can't believe they're not trying to figure this out.
It's called A Perfect Murder, Perfect Town. It's 2 hours and 58 minutes. That's what it was called. Perfect Murder, Perfect Town. Now, they were going to take his private jet out of state or whatever. What were they going to go to, Florida or Atlanta or something like that? But they wanted them to stay in town because they had questions for him. But they never went back to that house after that. They never stayed another night in that house. I don't think I would have either. But that house looks small. until you actually see like a space what do you call it, like a air view, an aerial view, and it's huge. Bless you. Yeah. Now you can watch it on IMDb TV, but I'm sure it's on other stuff too. I don't know if it's on. I think it's on. No, the cold case who killed Jon Benet is on Netflix. Um, Who Killed Jon Benet is a half-hour movie release on Lifetime. There's a lot of them.
Her father's still alive, and her brother, Bart Ramsey. And then she has several immediate and half family members who are still alive. You think somebody would be asking questions still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Half sister,
Either
half
that,
brother.
or maybe, maybe Bert did do it on accident. And they're just not pursuing anymore. They're not. I don't know. It's hard to say, and nobody's ever really going to know what had happened.
Yeah, but they have such different DNA testing. You think they could figure this out? And after 30 years, somebody had to have some kind of criminal record where they could match the DNA by now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But if the brother did it, who did the sexual assault on her then?
They are assuming that there might have been a sexual assault. Right now it's saying, Perfect Murder, Perfect Sound is on Amazon. A DVD on Amazon to watch director's cut. But I've seen that a while ago. That movie. Actually, I think you can watch it on YouTube. Yeah. I think it's on YouTube. We pull it up here.
So did the dad get remarried then? Because it says half sister, half brother.
I don't know.
Older half sister is also alive.
Okay. Let's look that up.
Older half brothers. So that must have been his second wife.
Who had older half sister and brother?
Well, it says they were older, so that must have been from his first marriage.
John That's a good question. An older half brother, sisters to Jon Benet and Burt Ramsey are John and Melinda Ramsey. So they were the children of Jon Benet Ramsey and his first wife. So John, Andrew Ramsey, and Melinda Ramsey, and Elizabeth Ramsey, they were the children of Jon Benet Ramsey, or Jon Benet Ramsey and his first wife. So he had 1, 2, 3 other kids before those two. Because John was born in the 1970s. Melinda, John Ramsey, who had been an active advocate for investigating his younger sister's case and appeared in the Netflix documentary Cold Case Who Killed Jon Benet.
Yeah, but he could have been doing that.
Melinda
to
Ramsey,
cover up. I mean,
the older half sister, had largely remained out of the public eye. Elizabeth Pash Ramsey, the eldest half sister, who tragically passed away at age 22 in a car accident. So he he had 3 other kids. He had 5 kids altogether.
They lost their sister too.
Yeah, that's part of the 5. She, in a car accident.
This family's full of tragedy.
Mm.
Huh.
Yeah, but you didn't really hear much about those siblings though until all this happened.
They were a 3-part on Dr. Phil too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched that because they came on. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, with the evidence, I mean, it's hard to say if they're covering up for Burke. If it was like the mom, if she was, some people say she was jealous of her. I mean, some say the dad got mad because she did wet the bed at times too. Like the parents kind of got upset
And then
about
they're
that.
trying to make money off of all these shows they were on.
Well, of course.
They filed all kinds of lawsuits against the shows they were on. Defamation of character and wrong statements.
Well, they went on there.
Yeah, well, I thought you have to sign a waiver when you go on there.
Well, Burt declined to participate in Netflix 2024 documentary Cold Case Who Killed Jon Benet. Well, that's because his older brother went on there. He came to his defense in the series and just put not fair for. It's just not simply fair for him. You came to his You look back at the pictures of 9-year-old Burke, and it's just absolutely absurd to think, oh yeah, he could have killed his sister and delivered this level of violence. It's hard to say. Nobody's ever gonna know. But those 3 know what happened now.
Yeah.
They definitely know
Looks
what
like
happened.
they're all taking it to their grave.
Mm-hmm. They all 3 know what happened. It's just, they're not gonna say. And honestly, it might have been an honest accident, but people wouldn't have looked at it that way. And they didn't want their good name to be taken down.
It still ended up all over the place.
But they're not, but they're not saying
and
that
just because we're not going to say this
Mhm.
is our opinion, this is what we feel. There's millions of people out there that watched that whole thing evolve on the news that I'm sure they all pointed fingers to the family.
Yeah.
So that's all it takes to file up a murder is to wrap the body and carry it to another room, and then they're going to say that it's contaminated. We're not going to even try.
Yeah. They did suspect the family housekeeper and a man named Michael Helga who died in apparent suicide shortly after Jon Benet's death. But
maybe he was having an affair with.
They found nothing.
Huh. Sad.
Yeah.
Boy, there's just some salty suckers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They got a lot of salt. That's why I got something to drink too. I was like, wow.
I got to this one. I'm like, holy cow!
They want to play him.
A little pretzel with that salt.
Get your blood work done. See how high your sodium is.
But she is a cute little shit. Just boy, did they glop on the makeup and the. They had to have money for some of those gowns she was wearing.
Oh yeah, you know those are expensive.
I just don't feel a 6-year-old has. Wow, I can't imagine killing a 6-year-old. Or anyone at that matter, but a 6-year-old.
I wonder if she liked it, or if she did it because her mom wanted her to. Like, was there bribery involved? Like, hey,
see,
if you do this, we'll get you this.
Who's to say she was throwing a 6-year-old fit and didn't want to do it and somebody got upset because that was their income.
That's true too. I don't know.
There's so many ways you could look at this. It'll make your head spin.
And it's hard to blame one person too, because it could have been, like somebody said, you know,
We need a Mr. Columbo. What is
Columbo.
his name? Christopher Columbo to come in and figure this one out.
Oh yeah.
Curious minds want to know. They got to be overlooking something.
Murder She Wrote.
Yeah, what's her name?
Angela
Angie.
Lansbury.
Yeah. Get her on the phone.
I mean, there's a lot of ways this could go. You know,
I just can't fathom letting this go. Because if it was a family member, you think the whole family would be still
let me tell you something.
trying to figure it out.
This would not be the family to play with. I'm only saying this because they could snuff you out in a heartbeat because that's how much money they have.
There's always a bigger dog, though.
No, I'm not one of them, I can tell you that. You're just going to find me in a ditch somewhere, man, because I said something.
Well, that too. Did they pay people off so that it was covered up that it was an accident?
You know, there's a lot of ways that could go.
Look at this so many directions. Oh my gosh. Oh, the FBI and tell them to get their head straight and figure it out. We're curious.
One day it's going to come out. Now, one day, one of them's going to be on their deathbed.
Well, the mom already passed away.
Yeah, she wasn't going to say nothing anyway.
So she didn't leave no note saying, hey, this is what really happened.
But I'm saying, the dad's probably not going to say anything. It's going to be up to Burke. And I'm telling you, maybe when Burke gets like to his deathbed or when he knows it's his time coming up, that he might just put, this is what really happened. Let me tell everybody what really happened. Because then what? Nothing. They ain't going to do nothing with them.
No, we just put your spirit to rest.
Or when he knows it's his time, he might actually leave a note or something. I mean, who knows? He probably already wrote it down and has it hidden in a safe somewhere and says, do not open till I die.
That's what I do.
I don't know.
Here's a key. Don't open it until I'm gone.
You don't need a key. If I have to get in there, I'm going to get in there. But it's just, yeah.
But don't do that to me, because if you tell me here's the key and don't open it till I'm gone, I'm going to open it as soon as you give me that damn key. What is she up to?
Yeah.
But like I said, I can't believe with all the new testing they can't figure something out. I mean, look how some of these serial killers, years later, they put them one and one together and they figure it out. This was one hellacious cover-up.
You know, I wonder if they paid to have, if they paid just to have this whole thing shut down.
Huh.
I mean, I'm not saying they did, but I'm just saying you don't
That's
ever hear nothing
possible.
about it. You know? I mean, look at all the stuff.
We're going to have to become glorified detectives.
Colorado, here we come.
Da-da-da-da.
I wonder if they would give us a tour of the house and be like, this is where the boiler room would be. You know? That's, what I wonder.
I don't know. Killerz minds want to know if you guys have any ideas of your own. Let us know. There's always somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that said something to somebody.
Oh, it's a small world. Very, very small.
That's another thing. How hasn't this blown out of water? Because someone always talks. Unless that person is dead already.
Well, they might be paid too to keep their mouth shut. I don't know how much money is invested in this here. Did they all add up to $118,000? Come time to shelling out the money.
Yeah, but if they had money, then 118 shouldn't have been nothing.
What else I'm saying? Maybe that's what it came to, like 118. Okay, you guys keep mouth shut, I'll give you this. Keep mouth shut, I'll get you this.
But they didn't say anything about it looking like someone broke into the house.
Now, I seen part of a broken window, but I think that was something else that had happened.
There's got to be someone she knew, which is sadder.
Yeah, it was something that had happened beforehand or something.
But they didn't look for their kid for 7 hours. That's odd.
They were probably sleeping.
She was a money train. How did they not look for her?
I know they said it was a broken basement window.
At 6 years old, you put your kid to bed, though.
Yeah.
So this isn't adding up.
Unless they got up in the middle of the night.
They're lured with pineapple.
Unless her and her brother happened to get up in the middle of the night. It was discovered near the victim's body was found had intense debate on intruder theories of scene staging. Because the broken window is one of the piece of evidence is unsolved. Because they said a suitcase, that's what it was. A suitcase was found underneath the window. And
So did they use that to climb out of the window?
yeah, allegedly used a step to climb through or reach through the floor. A partial boot print was contained the words high tech and was found on the suitcase. So it's yeah. But Jon Ramsey told investigators that he broke the basement window months earlier when he locked himself out of the house, though he never had the broken glass repaired. So
could be another cover up for the son, though.
That's a possibility to throw him off because there's so much, That's crazy.
Sad. Super sad.
Oh my goodness.
Well, who are you thinking about next time?
Yeah. Anybody have any suggestions? Anyone? No one?
Have you heard about the kids that were found in Cleveland? There was a whole bunch of them aging from 6 to, I think it was 18. They had them down in the basement.
Let me look that up.
That was just recent. They just got busted. It was a really run-down, nasty-looking house, and they found them. Had all these kids in the basement. Some of them couldn't read.
Yeah, I heard about that. The parents were, wasn't it grandparents or parents or something like that? Parents?
Yeah, they were doing their own thing upstairs, and all these kids were in the basement.
16 children rescued a house of words in Hamden, Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that one.
I don't know how much it'll be because it just happened, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not like, yeah. So we would have to do another one because that's still fresh. Well, that's not a murder thing, though, anyway.
Well, they're still cleaning through the house. God knows if there's any dead bodies.
That's true.
Pick somebody.
What was that Gabriel kid? You remember that? Gabriel. He was abused. And stuff. That was a big thing. I think there's a movie on it too.
I don't remember his last name.
I just put Gabriel kid. I can't think what his last name is.
Abused sentenced to death?
Gabriel Fernandez. Yeah, right there.
Oh, come on. He's only 5.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
Well, there was another one, too, about a little girl who, I don't remember. I'll have to look that one up. But, the mom, like, would lock her in a room and use her hair as a mop and all
We'll
kinds
have
of
to
stuff.
do 2 of them because this one's short.
Is it?
Yeah, this is all there is.
Okay. So we'll do Gabriel Fernandez. There's a movie on that, I think. Or no, it showed his trial, I think is what it was. Something like that. Fernandez. Wait. Oh my god.
Fernandez.
Yeah. So we'll do him. And then
who is the girl?
I don't remember the girl's name. I could probably pull it up here. Okay, Eliza. Okay, yeah, Eliza, Elisa, Izquierdo.
Oh, she.
This was happening in 1956.
Up with these people.
I don't know. But I remember that one too, right there. She died of brain hemorrhage. Yeah, they did all kinds of stuff to her. It's crazy. So the date for this would be the 26th. Why is something going on? Nothing's going on the 26th. Why does that look familiar? July 26th.
God, you just made the month go by.
Didn't I? 8 p.m. and go on our website, and you will be able to, pure evil inside the mind of serial killers, and if we're going to change
Request
anything,
anybody you want to talk about.
yeah. Yes, sirree, Bob. But this is, that's crazy about all these. Okay, is it all?
No.
I wasn't for sure.